Life-saving resources will now be given to anyone impacted by domestic or dating violence, stalking, and other offenses because of the Natalia Cox Act, or Senate Bill 1325. It's a law in Texas passed due in no small part to parents on a mission to honor their daughter's legacy.
We wanted to do this for Natalia. We wanted to be Natalia's voice that she can't be right now.
It's named after Houston-Tillotson University student Natalia Cox, who was murdered 2 years ago. Her parents say if this law would have been around then, things might have worked out differently for their daughter. And that's why they work so hard to get it passed and to protect others.
KVUE's Eric Pointer spoke to them about their journey, and George is now live in the studio. So Eric, what kind of work did they put in, and what kind of help did they have along the way?
Rob, this was a passion project for Lester and Lakeisha Cox. They put in countless hours driving here to Austin from the Dallas area to testify and meet with lawmakers. And they say that they couldn't have done it without the help and support of others who also wanted to make sure their daughter's name lived on. Natalia Cox's parents, Lester and Lakeisha, missed their daughter.
Oh gosh, she was my baby that always had me laughing.
Her life was cut short by someone she barely knew. But now, they'll have more than cell phone videos to remember her by, because they helped get a law passed in her honor.
Everything that she stood for, her values, I think, are encompassed in the bill, and all the countless lives that she's going to save.
Their daughter was killed by someone she had only gone on 2 dates with. He threatened her with a gun at her home. She tried to move out of her apartment, but her complex hit her with so many fees she couldn't afford to leave, and she didn't know about the resources available to help her get out.
We really feel like if you look back at the situation, what could have been a situation changer was just the knowledge of having, knowing her rights.
The Natalia Cox Act will help victims of domestic violence, stalking, harassment, and terroristic threat all across the state. It will require law enforcement and healthcare professionals to give them written information with details on how to get out of a dangerous situation, such as their rights to get a protective order or break a lease.
And that's a moment where you're in crisis. It's difficult to process information when you're in crisis, so having this in writing is going to be so helpful.
Bronwyn Blake is the chief legal officer at the Texas Advocacy Project. They provide free legal services to survivors, including help getting protective orders.
Protective orders save lives. It is a piece of paper, but they're statistically the most likely intervention to keep you safe. There are some studies that show protective orders are as much as 80% effective in keeping someone safe from future violence.
These 9 pages of SB 1325, bringing resources to people in their most dire time of need, came from State Senator Cara Alvarado.
Hearing the story, not just about what happened to her, but about her life and what a vibrant, young, energetic person she was, loved by many, and to know that we can make a difference here. And that's why we do this job.
Senator Alvarado was approached by House Representative Vicki Goodwin to carry the bill. Goodwin wrote the House version and
it is a testimony.
Presented Lester and Lakeisha with the resolution and the flag that was flown over the Capitol the day the bill was signed into law. Natalia's parents met with both lawmakers as they drafted their versions.
If they hadn't come to the Capitol and met with us, I don't think the bill would have gotten as far as it did. It wouldn't be law today. They turned their loss, their tragedy, into advocacy.
They also had support from law enforcement. Dallas County Constable Michael Orozco testified on behalf of the bill.
My testimony was 100% with emotion because I believe so much into this bill.
Constable Orozco says that he has past experience with similar situations, and he had already partnered with a lawmaker from the previous legislative session to get a similar law passed. It never made it out of the committee, but he never gave up.
We want to prevent incidences like Natalia Cox. It's unfortunate that this happened, but at the same time, we can turn this into a positive.
We're definitely grateful, but ultimately, of course, we'd rather have our daughter here.
And while it doesn't bring their daughter back,
Natalia Cox.
Her parents say it does help to know that her name will be used to save others.
Lock it out!
Lock it out!
That law took effect immediately after the governor signed it because more than 2/3 of lawmakers in each chamber voted for it and supported it. It will require the Health and Human Services Commission to create a form that will standardize the information to be given out.
This is so important. I mean, Natalia had a hunch. She had a gut feeling and she was ignored. You know what I mean? And so this is so important. This will make people act. You know?
Yes, it'll give them the tools and the resources to help themselves if they are in a similar situation, which is what her parents want, is them to have those tools.
Right. For her parents, yeah, that's the thing. Thinking about the mom and dad there who have a purpose now for their pain, you know, to help other people, other daughters along the way. So.
I like where they said they turn their pain into advocacy. I'm like, yes. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.